Today we have a look at snow in April, a mural of a rapper, a wedding on the cheap, a snake at Walmart, and much more.
We have today's weather forecast with Madison and a look at sports with Eli.
Today is Wednesday, April 20th, 2022.
We are live from Schroer's Broadcast Studio, 8 to 12 on the campus of Bradley Central High School, and you are watching VOX News Today.
Welcome back. I'm Alex Wingard.
And I am Amber Filial.
In Afghanistan, at least 6 people are dead and dozens more injured following attacks on 2 schools in western Kabul Tuesday. The explosions happened in the Hazara neighborhood, home to a large community of Shia Muslims from Afghanistan's Hazara ethnic minority. Emergency, a group that offers free medical and surgical treatment to civilians, says 7 injured children were taken to the hospital. That specific region has been targeted in the past by Islamic State.
Just days after these young disabled Ukrainian swimmers arrived in Turkey, war erupted back home, and what was supposed to be a 2-week training camp has now turned into 2 months of being stranded here, separated from their families during the most difficult of times. At this public pool in Istanbul, they continue their training. It's also a distraction from the one thing that's on everyone's minds.
Wednesday marks the 12th anniversary of the Deepwater Horizon oil rig explosion in the Gulf of Mexico. The blast killed 11 workers on board. It also resulted in the catastrophic release of oil from the rig and the connected underwater well. Over the course of 87 days, it became the largest accidental oil spill in U.S. history. Roughly 168 million gallons of oil spewed into the Gulf. The disaster ultimately resulted in criminal charges and billions of dollars in damages paid out by BP.
Britain's Prince Harry is shared new details about his visit with Queen Elizabeth. He told NBC's Today show the Queen was, quote, on great form, end quote, and that he wanted to make sure she's, quote, protected and has, quote, the right people around her, end quote. Harry and his wife Meghan went to Windsor Castle on their first trip to the UK as a couple since stepping away from royal duties 2 years ago. They're in Europe for Invictus Games in the Netherlands. As for the Queen, she turns 96 on Thursday and has largely stayed out of the spotlight after some recent health issues.
In Australia, the first leadership debate of the 2022 federal election campaign happened today in the city of Brisbane. Prime Minister Scott Morrison and Labour Party leader Anthony Albanese went head-to-head in an unscripted and unpredictable debate in a bid to secure the votes of undecided Australians. Sky News Australia and the Courier Mail hosted the event, which was moderated by Sky News chief news anchor Kieran Gilbert.
These new mask freedoms might not last too long. The Justice Department says it's deferring the CDC about appealing a federal judge's ruling that struck down the measure Monday. The CDC had wanted the mandate in place until at least May 3rd, while it was determined if it was still needed. Experts say it's important to remember COVID-19 is still deadly. Officials say a new sublineage of BA2 spreads about 25% faster than the original subvariant. Together, they make up almost all new COVID-19 cases in the U.S. Experts also point out people can't always social distance when traveling together.
Video of an 8-year-old child being led to a police car in tears has gone viral. It happened in New York on Tuesday, where the man recording it claims the child was being arrested over stealing a bag of chips in Syracuse. It's now the focus of an internal review by police, who say the child was not handcuffed, not arrested, or charged. They say they brought him home and met with his father. Syracuse's mayor, Ben Walsh, confirmed that the officer knew the child from prior interactions. He says that officer did explain to the child that he would be taken home.
Officially, spring has been here for a month, but parts of New York State are still feeling the full effects of severe wintry weather. An overnight storm in Broome County left damaged buildings, downed trees, and crippled electrical services in its wake. County officials say it knocked out power to roughly half the county. They say cleanup and power restoration could take days, even as chainsaw crews are actively working on clearing fallen trees from roads. Governor Kathy Hochul says assistance from the state is on the way.
Some financial aid help may be coming to those who are still paying federal student loans. The Department of Education announced Tuesday it's making changes to the system. The actions will benefit nearly 4 million people, bringing them a few years closer to forgiveness through the income-driven repayment program. The IDR offers 4 repayment plans and allows those in debt to avoid loan default by lowering monthly payments based on family size and income. It also promises loan forgiveness after at least 20 years' worth of payments are completed. Thousands of other borrowers will also get immediate forgiveness due to the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program.
The subject line of 67-year-old David Hannon's email read, quote, "You're dead, radical Muslim," end quote. He sent it after he said Omar directed profanities at then-President Trump at a news conference. The email came amid an ugly fight between Trump and a group of progressive female lawmakers, which includes Omar. The Minnesota Democrat held the news conference after Trump sent racist tweets about their nationalities. Hannon called the Congresswoman radical rats, writing, quote, "All 4 of you will die and the American people will cheer. Patriots against Islam," end quote. Hannon's lawyer characterized the email as, quote, "a single lapse of judgment," end quote.
And now let's check on our weather. Eli, what can you tell us?
Allergy season is upon us. Stay tuned for today's weather update and much more right after this break.
Wow, college already.
Yeah. We gotta go.
I love you.
I love you too, Daddy. And thanks for everything.
Gratitude. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
sounds awful. Seriously, awful.
But a lot better than last week.
We weren't born to follow.
Final round. Fight.
Welcome back. I'm Eli Dunn with your weather. Let's take a look at our weather at a glance. Today's high is going to be a high of 72 and a low of 58 with precipitation at 2%, and the wind is going to be 6 miles per hour. It is 37 degrees outside with the high of with sunny skies and humidity is at 95%. Let's take a look at our local radar. It is clear and blue skies in the Tennessee Valley, so that's good. Let's take a look at our national radar for today. We got a little storm front moving across Arkansas and Missouri. I would expect that to dissipate and go up north towards Kentucky over the past couple hours. And a couple snow showers up in Canada. But take a look at our 7-day weather forecast. Thursday, high of 78 and a low of 52, partly cloudy skies. Friday, sunny skies, high of 83 and a low of 56. Saturday, mostly sunny with high of 83, 61. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high of 83 and 62. Monday, partly cloudy with a high of 84 and 56. Tuesday, a high of 72, but with scattered showers moving in with a low of 46. Wednesday, partly cloudy with a high of 71 and 47. That is all I have for weather. Here is Madison with your sports report.
Today we have on the Atlanta Braves and more right after this break.
Wrong.
I'm wrong. You're the one who misrepresented the facts.
Are you kidding?
Your proposal's ludicrous.
My proposal will go exactly the way I say it will.
My dead body.
I think somebody needs a timeout.
Oh, that's the power of one.
Civility. Pass it on.
One grain of sand can turn the tide.
Strike one. I'm the greatest hitter in the world! Strike two. I'm the greatest hitter in the world! Strike 3. Wow. I'm the greatest pitcher in the world. Yes!
Optimism. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Welcome back. I'm Madison Johnston with your sports. Kenley Jansen entered Tuesday's 9th inning to close out a game from Dodger Stadium as a member of the Atlanta Braves. His last out was Freddie Freeman, now a member of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Jansen has had sights set on the returning of the Dodgers this offseason, just like Freeman expected to return to the Braves, but everything changed shortly after the lockout was lifted around the middle of March. When the Mets needed a lift on Tuesday afternoon, Francisco Lindor was there to deliver it. The Mets shortstop tied the game with an RBI single in the 5th inning and then came to the plate with the runners on the corners in the 10th inning. Lindor looped a walk-off RBI single to the center field to boost the Mets to a 5-4 victory over the Giants in the first half of the team's doubleheader on Tuesday afternoon at Citi Field. Salvador Perez homered twice and Hunter Dozier hit another go-ahead home run to lift Kansas City Royals over the Minnesota Twins 4-3 on Tuesday night. Perez homered in the 4th off Chris Archer and tied the score 3-3 in the 6th when he went deep against Tyler Duffy. Out later, Dozier hit a tie-breaking home run to the single straight game, following up his 2-run drive in the 6th off Detroit's Will Vest in a 3-1 win Saturday. Wander Franco hit his first homer off the season, a 2-run drive to the left center in his 3rd inning, and the Tampa Bay Rays held on to beat the Chicago Cubs 6-5 on Tuesday nights. Cubs rookie Suzuki drew the 3 walks, but his 9-game hitting streak came to an end, leaving him with tied for Ankaroki for the longest hitting streak by a Japanese-born player to start the career. That's all I have for sports. We'll have more news with Amber and Alex right after this break.
CRCC to me is a calling that God placed on my life to really step out in faith on something that I didn't think I could do, and it's been amazing to see how God's worked through it.
CRCC stands for Crossroads Community Church, but we're a church that our vision is to be a life-giving church in our community. We do that through helping people know God, find freedom, discover their purpose, and then go make a difference. And so that's what we're doing every week, is helping people discover their jam and go make a difference.
We broke Old Man Hennessy's window.
Correction, dude. You broke. I just threw the ball.
This is really bad. What are we gonna do?
Dude, kiss your life goodbye.
See ya.
Sorry, dude.
Keep smiling, keep shining. No,
Hi. Tell him it was an accident, and we can fix the window. I'll come with you.
oh, that's what friends are for.
Welcome back.
A 25-year-old Alabama man facing capital murder charges in the shooting deaths of his pregnant wife and their fetal son has not pleaded not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. The Montgomery Advertiser reports Hunter James Tatum of Prattville entered the plea Monday before Circuit Judge Ben Fuller. A grand jury summons Tatum on 3 charges, including capital murder and the death of 26-year-old Summer Tatum and the subsequent death of the couple's unborn son, since named Everett. Autauga County Chief Deputy District Attorney CJ.
One man has died in an officer-elaborated shooting in Gordon County that involved the Ringgold Police Department on Tuesday. The GBI says a Ringgold officer attempted to stop Casey Honia, a Rossville man, for rushing in Catoosa County. The GBI says Honoa did not stop, which led to a chase into Gordon County. That's when Gordon County deputies took over. The GBI says Gordon County deputies used a pit maneuver to stop Honia's car. Honia made a movement towards his waist, which is when deputies shot him. Honia died at the scene.
A Virginia Tech scientist honored his favorite pop star in an interesting way. He named a new species after her. The mysterious arthropod is named after Taylor Swift. It's one of 16 new species named by a team of researchers in a newly published paper. Lead scientist Derek Hennon says listening to Taylor Swift helped him get through graduate school, so he felt it appropriate to name one of his discoveries after her. The millipede is also only found in Tennessee, where Taylor Swift grew up. The name might have landed Hennon in the doghouse with his wife if he hadn't already named another new species after her.
A Tennessee death row inmate's request for clemency was denied Tuesday despite new DNA evidence that he says he could help his case. 72-year-old Oscar Smith was sentenced to death for the 1989 murders of his estranged wife Judith Smith and her 2 minor sons. He was moved to death watch Monday night. Smith's legal team in a filing wrote that unknown DNA was found on the murder weapon that did not match Smith's. They say the evidence proves that he did not handle the murder weapon and asked the court to stay the execution until new evidence is heard.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration is investigating Lucky Charms cereal after dozens of customers complained of illness after eating it. The FDA said Saturday it has received more than 2,400 complaints related to Lucky Charms so far this year. Quote, the FDA takes seriously any reports of possible adulteration of a food that may also cause illness or injury, end quote, the agency said in a statement. Several hundred people have also posted on a food safety website, iwaspoisoned.com, complaining of nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting after eating Lucky Charms.
The search for a worker trapped in a collapsed trench on a new home construction site in Spring City on Saturday came to an end when the worker's body was recovered around 1 a.m. Sunday. Ray County Detective Rocky Potter says the man was deceased at that time. He states that the contractor of the construction of a home had hired a subcontractor to hand dig out the trench to help repair the walls. Ray County Sheriff's Department says it was a 2-man ditch job. Because of a language barrier, crews originally believed 2 men were in the trench. However, it has been confirmed now that it was only 1.
Amazon is planning to audit its hiring practices for racial disparities. Former Attorney General Loretta Lynch is leading the evaluation. It comes after shareholders pressured Amazon to look at how it hires and protects its nearly 1 million hourly employees. Specifically, they want to focus on warehouse workers, many of whom are people of color. The company announced the audit ahead of a shareholders meeting next month. Amazon says it will release the findings once it's completed.
An artist in Tennessee putting the finishing touches on a mural in honor of slain rapper Young Dolph. The rapper, whose real name was Adolph Robert Thornton Jr., was fatally shot in November in Memphis. The mural appears on the side of a grocery store in Young Dolph's Costella Heights neighborhood. Artist Tony Tunstall said this is one of the streets where he shot many of his videos.
A suspicious person was reported at the 404 Homes apartment on Tunnel Boulevard. Someone was reported to be inside an apartment that was vacant. Police spoke with a man who was in the vacant apartment. He told police he had permission to be in the unit. After speaking with the maintenance worker and property manager, it was clear to police that the man was not allowed to be in the unit. The man was removed from the property and trespassed. He was told that if he returned to the property, he would be taken to jail for trespassing.
Hamilton County has conveyed property at 5070 Ottawa Ringgold Road to Collegedale after the city notified the county that it wished to renovate the property that is within the Wolf Dever Creek Greenway for public use. It is the former location of Hamilton County Medic Number 5 EMS station. At the commission meeting Monday evening, the Collegedale Commission authorized the acceptance of property. Each year, Collegedale leases land across the road from Swinyard Drive for the city's July 4th Freedom Celebration. This year it will be leased for the amount of $1, which will ensure the city's insurance policy will cover the program.
In this day and age of spending thousands of dollars on a wedding, a California couple exchanged vows while vowing not to spend over $500 on their big day. It had all the hallmarks of a typical wedding, feeding each other cake, tossing the bouquet, dancing the night away. But when Kiara and Joel Brokenbrow said I do, they also said I don't want to spend thousands on a wedding. The average cost for a wedding these days is $28,000. Kiara is a social media manager, Joel is a high school coach. They didn't want to start their marriage up to their necks in debt.
Shoppers at an Indiana Walmart weren't in the market for a snake, but they found one anyway. This guy, now named Wolverine, was just sitting on a shelf in the store this week. The City of Bloomington Animal Care and Control took him to a shelter. It's unclear how he got into the store, but now he's looking for a forever home. The agency says he's a bit stressed and is still getting used to being handled. They say he would do well with an experienced snake owner. Anyone interested should contact the City of Bloomington, Indiana Animal Shelter.
We are on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube through our channel BCHS VOX News.
You will also find more online at our website, voxnews.net.
Remind your friends to like, subscribe, share, and tune in.
You just can't get enough of VOX.
That is all we have for you today from Studio H12 at Bradley Central.
And as always,
God bless and go Bears!